to Denmark.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who's there?
Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king!
Bernardo?
Please.
You come most carefully upon your hour.
It is now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
That's relief, much thanks. It is bitter cold. I am sick at heart.
Have you had quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Marcellus and Horatio, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them. Stand! Who's there?
Friends, to this ground.
Liegeman to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Oh, farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Bernardo has my place. Give you good night.
Allah, Bernardo.
Say what? Is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What? Has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him touching this dreaded sight, twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes, and speak to it.
Tush, tush. 'Twill not appear.
Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears. That are so fortified against our story what we 2 nights have seen.
Well, sit we down, let us hear Bernardo speak.
Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward of the pole had made his course to illume that part of heaven which now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the Belden, beating one.
Peace! Break thee off. Look where it comes again.
In the same figure of the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio.
Look it not like the king, mark it, Horatio!
Most like. Harrows me with fear and wonder.
Who would be spoke to?
Question it, Horatio.
What art thou that usurps this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak!
'Tis offended.
Stay! Stay, speak!
See,
Speak, I charge thee, speak!
'Tis gone and will not answer.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on it?
Before my God, I might not disbelieve, without the sensible and true voucher of mine own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself, such was the very armor he used to wear, 'tis strange.
Thus twice before, and jump at this dead hour, with martial stock hath he gone by our watch.
And what particular thought to work in, I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
I think it be no other. But even so that this portentous figure, so like the king that was, comes armed through our watch.
A mote it is to trouble the mind's eye. They say that ere the mightiest Caesar fell, the grave stood tenantless, and that she dead did squeak and gibber in the Roman streets. The stars with trains of fire, dews of blood, disasters in the sun. And the moist star, upon whose influence Neptune's empire stands, was sick almost to doomsday with eclipse. And even the like of this... Soft! Behold! Where it comes again! I'll cross it. Don't blast me. Stay! Illusion! If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done that may to thee do ease, then speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which haply for knowing may avoid. Oh, speak! Stop it, Marcellus!
Shall I strike at it with my partisan?
Do, if it will not stand!
Ah! 'Tis here!
Oh, 'tis here!
Tis gone. But we do it wrong, being so majestical to offer it the show of violence. For it is as the air invulnerable, and our vain blows malicious mockery.
I was about to speak when the cock crew.
Then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard the cock that is the trumpet to the morn, doth with its lofty and shrill sounding throat awake the god of day. And at his warning, whether in sea or fire, earth or air, the extravagant and erring spirit hies to his confine, and not the truth herein, this present object made probation.
Faded on the crowing of the cock.
Aye, look. The morn in russet mantle clad walks over the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we our watch up, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For this spirit done to us will speak to him. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it as needful in our loves, fitting our duty?
Aye.
Let's do it, I pray. And I this morning know we shall find him most conveniently.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us be fitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe, yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, and we with wisest sorrow think on him together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen, have we as 'twere with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and a dropping eye, with mirth in funeral and with dirge in marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along. For all our thanks. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What wouldest thou beg that shall not be my offer, not thy asking? The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than the throne of Denmark to thy mother. What wouldest thou have, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave and favor to return to France, from whence, though willingly, I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation. Yet now I must confess, that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again toward France, and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your mother's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laborsome petition, and at last, upon his will, I sealed my heart consent. I do beseech you give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes. Time be thine, and thy best graces, spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet, and my son.
A little more than kin, and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much in the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted color off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou know'st 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems? Nay, it is. I know not seems. It is not alone my inky cloak, good mother, no, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath, nor the fruitful river in the eye, together with all shapes, forms, and moods of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions a man might play. I have within that which passeth show, these but trappings and suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father. That father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire. We beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee, stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a fair and loving reply, be as ourselves in Denmark. Madam, come, this gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart. Come away.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Oh God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. But instead, hey, not so much. So excellent a king, so loving to my mother that he might not between the winds of heaven visit her case too roughly. Heaven and earth must I remember. Frailty, thy name is woman. 1 month a widow, married with my uncle, my father's brother, but not so much like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her gold eyes, she married. Oh, most wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets! It is not, nor it can have come to good, but break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
And to your lordship.
Horatio, I'm glad to see you
All
well.
the same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Marcellus, my good lord, I'm glad to see you. Good evening, sir. My good friends, what makes you to Elsinore? I'll teach you to drink deep ere yet you depart.
My lord, we came to see your father's funeral.
I prithee do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish the marriage tables. Would I had rather ever seen my dearest foe in heaven, ever had I seen that day. My father! Methinks I see my father.
Oh, where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man, all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My lord the king, your father.
The king, my father.
Season your aberration for a while with an attent ear till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
Speak, for the love of God!
2 nights had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead fast in the middle of the night, been thus encountered, a figure like your father, armed at point exactly, appears before them, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by them. Thrice he walked by their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes, within its truncheon's length, whilst they distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. All this to me in dreadful secrecy, in part they did. And I with them the 3rd night kept the watch. I saw your father's ghost.
But where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watched.
Did you not speak to it?
Aye, my lord, I did, but answer made it none.
'Tis very strange.
In all my life, my honored lord, 'tis true. And we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it.
Indeed, sirs. But this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight?
We do, my lord.
I'll watch tonight. Perchance it will walk again.
I warrant it will.
Then let us go in together. Gentlemen, if the sights you have seen you have hitherto concealed, let it be tenable in your silence still. And whatsoever else shall have tonight, give it an understanding, but no tongue. I will requite your loves. Upon the platform, twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duty to your honor.
My love is to yours. Farewell. My father's spirit? In arms? All is not well. I doubt some foul play. Would that the night were come!
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet, and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood. Perhaps he loves you now, but he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the sanity and health of the whole state. Then weigh what loss your honor may sustain, if with too credent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered opportunity. Fear it, Ophelia, fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot and danger of desire.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But, good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me this steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst, like a puffed and reckless libertine himself, the primrose path of dalliance treads, not heeding his own advice.
Ah, fear me not. I stay too long. Here my mother comes.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard, aboard, for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you were stayed for. Here, my blessing with thee. Oh, and these few precepts for thy memory. Look thou character. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them unto thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy calm with entertainment of each unpledged, new-hatched comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thine ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Now costly thy habit as thy parts may buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy. For the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are most selected generous, chief in that. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lady.
Oh, the time invites you. Go, your servants tend.
Farewell, Ophelia. And remember well what I've said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is it, Ophelia, he hath sent you?
So, please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet?
Very well bethought. 'Tis told me he very often late hath given private time to you, and you yourself of your audience have been most free and bounteous. If that be so, ahem, I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behooves my daughter and your honor. Now what is between you two? Give me up the truth.
He hath of late made many tenders of his affection toward me.
Affection? Oh, you speak like a green girl.
He hath importuned me with love in most honorable fashion.
Aye, fashion you may call it. Go to.
And hath given countenance to his speech with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, springs to catch woodcocks. I do know when the blood burns how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. Ophelia, from this time be something scanter of your maiden presence. For the Lord Hamlet, do not believe his vows. Believe so much in him that he is a man, and with a larger tether may he walk than may be given you. In few, Ophelia, I would not in plain terms from this time have you slander any moment leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Now look to it, I charge you. Come your ways.
My lady, I will obey.
The air, why truly it is very cold.
It is a nipping and an eager air.
What hour now?
I think it laps at 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed, I heard it not. Then draws near the season wherein the spirit held is wont to walk. What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight and takes his rouse, keeps with sail in the swaggering upstream reels, and as he drains his draughts of rainish rain down, the kettle drum and the trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge.
Is this a custom?
Ay, marry, is it? But to my mind, though I am native here into the manor born, it is a custom more honored in the breach than the observance.
Look where it comes, my lord!
Angels and ministers of health, defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or a goblin damned. Bring with thee heirs from heaven or blast from hell. Be thou intense, wicked, or charitable. Thou comes in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, King, Father, Royal Dano. Answer me, say, what may this mean that thou, dead corpse, again in complete steel revisits thus the glimpses of the moon so horridly to shake our thoughts with dispositions beyond the reaches of our soul? Say, why is this? Wherefore? What should we do?
Beckons you to go away with it, as if some impartment did desire to you alone.
Look, with what courteous action it waves you to a more removed ground, but do not go with it.
No, by no means.
We will not speak. I'll follow it.
No, my lord.
Why, what should be the fear?
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of a cliff that beetles over his base into the sea, and from there, assume some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it.
He waves to me still. Go on, I'll follow thee.
My lord, you shall not go.
Lay off your hands!
Be rude, you shall not go.
My lord!
Unhand me, gentlemen! By heaven, I'll make a ghost of him that stays me! Away, I say! Go on. I'll follow thee.
He waxes desperate with imagination.
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit thus to obey him.
Have after, to what issue will this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Whither wilt thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further.
Mark me. I will. My hour is almost come when I, too surfeitless in tormenting flames, must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
I am my father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night and day, confined to fast in fires till my foul crimes of nature are burnt and purged. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I could a tale unfold, whose wisest sorrow would herald up thy soul. Freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres, thy knighted and combined locks to part, and each particular hair to stand on end, like quills upon the fretful porpentine. List, list, oh list. If thou did ever thy dear father love,
Oh God!
revenge is foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder?
Murder most foul.
Hates me to know it that I, with wings as swift as meditation or thoughts of love, may sweep up to my revenge.
Now Hamlet here, 'tis given out. Sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me, so the whole ear of Denmark is but a forged process of my death, rankly abused. But know thy noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life, now wears his crown.
Oh, prophetic soul, my uncle!
I, the incestuous, adulterous beast! O traitorous gift, so wicked wit that has the power so to seduce my seeming virtuous queen. Soft. Methinks I sent the morning air. Brief let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon thy secure hour, thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed hemlock, and an ear in my vial, and in the porches of thy ear did pour the leprous distillment, who enmity holds such an effect, and courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and doth purge the thin and wholesome blood. Thus was I sleeping, by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, cut off in the full blossoms of my sin, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head.
Horrible, horrible, most horrible!
Most horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned in incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns in her bosom lodge to prick and sting her. The glowworm shows the morning to be near, and begins to pale his ineffectual fire. Adieu, Hamlet. Remember me.
Hold! You, my heart, and you, my sinews, grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee? Aye, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee? Yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial, fond observations of youth. Copy there, and thy commandment alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain! Oh, pernicious woman! Oh, smiling, damned villain!
My lord!
What news? My lord. Wonderful.
Great, my lord, tell it.
No, you will reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost. That let me tell you. As for your desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may. Now, friends, as we are friends, scholars and soldiers, give me up one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
Never to speak of this that you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear it! Sayest thou, boy? Art thou still there? Come, you hear this fellow in the cellarage? Swear never to speak of this that you have seen tonight. Consent to swear. Swear! Come hither, gentlemen. Lay your hands again upon my sword. Never to speak of this that you have heard tonight. Swear by my sword.
Swear by his sword.
Oh, day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
And as a stranger, give it welcome, Horatio. There are more things dreamt up in heaven and earth than are in your philosophy. But come. Swear.
Swear.
Rest! Rest, perturbed spirit! And so, gentlemen, with all my love I do commend me to you, Let us go in together. However strange or odd I bear myself, as I shall hereafter think me to put an anti-disposition on, never at such time seeing me reveal my madness is but counterfeit. Agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed, my lord. Let us go in together. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite that ever I was born to set it right.
Mother! Mother!
Ophelia! What is it? What's the matter?
Mother, I have been so frightened.
Well, what's what in the name of God?
Lady, when I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, his doublet all embraced. Noah had him on his head, his stockings fouled white as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport, it seemed he'd been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors. He comes before me.
What, mad for thy love?
Lady, I know not, but I do fear it.
Well, what said he? What's
By the wrist, and held me hard. Then when he took all the length of his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he fell to such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so, and raised he a sigh so piteous and profound, it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go. And with his head o'er his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out of doors he went, without their help, until at last bent with delight on me.
This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property foredoes itself and leads the soul to desperate undertaking as oft as any passion under heaven that does inflict our natures. I am sorry. What, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, but as you did command, I refused his letters and denied his access to me.
This hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment I had not noted him. I feared he did but trifle with thee by heaven. Come, we go to the king. This must be known, which, if it were kept hid, might bring more grief upon us. Come, Ophelia.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you, the need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something you have heard of Hamlet's transformation, as I call it, for not the outer nor the inward man resembles what it was. What it should be, more than his father's death, that thus hath put him so much from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with him, you draw him unto pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean. Whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am two men there are not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you thus to expend your time with us a while for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both of your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz, and I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go, some of you, and bring these gentlemen where Hamlet is.
Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
Aye, amen.
Polonius, good minister, what news?
I'll assure you, my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and my gracious king.
Your drift, Polonius?
That I do think. or else this brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy as well as it hath used to do, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Ooh, speak of that. That do I long to hear. She tells me, dear Gertrude, that she hath found the head and source of all your son's distemper.
I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death, and our hasty marriage.
Well, we shall sift her. Proceed, dear counselor.
My liege and madam, to expostulate. What majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night is night, time is time. We're nothing but to waste day and night and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define true madness, what is it to call nothing else but mad? But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I assure you, I use no art at all. That he is mad, 'tis true. 'Tis true. 'Tis pity. 'Tis pity, 'tis true. A foolish figure. But farewell it, for I will use no art. Mad let us grant him then. And thus remains that we find the cause of this effect. Or rather say the cause of this defect, before this defect effective comes with cause. Thus it remains, and the remainder thus. Consider. I have a daughter, while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience gave me this. Gather and surmise. To the celestial, the most beautified Ophelia. That is a vile phrase. Is that an ill phrase? Isn't beautified? That is a vile phrase.
Obtain this letter from Hamlet to her.
Oh, stay, madam, stay a while. I will be faithful. Doubt thou the stars of fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Oh, dear Ophelia, I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best, oh most best, believe it, adieu, thine evermore, Hamlet. This note my daughter showed me.
But how hath she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As of a woman faithful and honorable.
Well, even so. When I saw this hot love on the wing, thus did I bespeak to my young mistress. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star. This must not be. And in prescripts I gave her that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens. And then she took the fruits of my advice, and he repulsed, a short tale she made, fell into a fast, then to a sadness, then to a watch, then to a weakness, then to a lightness, and thus by declension into the madness wherein he now raves, and we all mourn for him.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be, very like.
Hath I ever said, I would fain know, that something absolutely positively is true, and it hath proved otherwise?
Not that I know.
Take this from this, if it be otherwise.
How may we prove this further?
You know sometimes he walks for 4 hours altogether in the lobby.
So he does indeed.
At that time, I'll loose my daughter to him. You and I bind an heiress then. Mark the encounter. If he love her not, and not be mad by her refusal, well then, I will be no more assistant to the state. I will take off farm and cattle.
We will try it.
But look where, sadly, the poor wretch comes greeting.
Wait, I beseech you, I will board him presently. I beseech you, please give me leave. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God of mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent, in faith, well, you are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord. He knows me not.
Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk too much in the sun. A conception is a blessing, but not as she would conceive. Friend, look to it.
I like you there. Still harping on my daughter. He is gone, far gone. Truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love very near this. I will speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words, words, words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean the matter that you read, my lord.
Slanders, sir. For the satirical rogue here says that old women have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and country gum, that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hands. All which says man, though I powerfully and potently believe, though have not the honesty to have it thus set down that you yourself should be as old as I, if like a crab, you could go backwards.
Though this be madness, yet there be method in it. I will leave him and contrive a means of meeting between him and my daughter. My lord, I must humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot take anything from me that I will more willingly part with all. Except my life. Except my life. Except my life!
Very well, my lord.
These tedious old fools.
Oh, you seek the Lord Hamlet? There he is!
My honored lord!
Oh, my most dear lord!
My excellent good friends! Guildenstern, how dost thou? Ha ha! Rosencrantz, my good lads, how do ye both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy, and that we are not over happy. In fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoes.
Neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waist, in the middle of her favors.
Save for private's weed.
In the secret parts of fortune. 'Tis true she is a strumpet. But what news bring you?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Then is doomsday near. Your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord?
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one.
Aye, a goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons. Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
To me it is a prison.
Well, then it's your ambition that makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
God, I could be bound in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space. Or not that I have bad dreams. In the beaten way of friendship, what makes you to Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord, no other occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks. But I thank you. But out with it. Were you not sent for? Is it a free visitation? Is it your own inclining? Come! Deal justly with me. How with it may speak?
What should we say, my lord?
You were sent for. There is a kind of confession in your looks that your modesties have not the craft to color. I know the good king and queen sent you for.
Say you?
Nay, then I have an eye for you. Friends, if you ever did love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I shall tell you why. And so shall my anticipation prevent your discovery and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have, of late, lost all my mirth, foregone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, it seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, look you, the air, this majestical roof fretted with golden fires, why, it appeareth to me no other than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of a work is a man. How infinite in reason, how noble in faculties, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. Yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust, man? Delights not me, no, nor woman, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
There was no such step in my thoughts, my lord.
Why then did you laugh when I said man delights not me?
To think of it, if you delight not in man, what humble compensation the player shall receive from you.
Players?
delight in, the traveling tragedians.
Here they come now.
Oh, you are welcome to Elsinore. Welcome. Come, your hands. My aunt, mother, and uncle, father are more deceived.
In what, my lord?
I am but mad northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a handsaw from a hawk. Oh, why did you reserve the office? Come tell me of the flares. Yes, on Monday morning, 'twas so indeed, sirs, right.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. Blah, blah, blah.
The players are arrived.
No!
Hide my honor.
The Cambridge actor on his ass. Masters, you are welcome to Elsinore. Well, my good friend, I am glad to see thee well. My old friend, my thy face is bearded since I saw thee last hand. My good lady, young mistress. Masters, you are welcome to Elsinore. A speech. Straight, we'll have speech. Come. Give me a taste of your quality. Come. A passionate speech.
What speech, my good lord?
I heard thee speak a speech once, but it was never acted.
You hateful woman, abominable thing, loathed by the gods and me and all of mankind. You could pick up a sword and hack the bodies of the sons that you had born to leave me childless. You have done this and dare to face the sun, see the earth. I curse you!
Prithee, no more, no more. Look where he has not turned his color, he has tears in his eyes.
'Tis well done. Well done. My good lord, you will see these players are bestowed. Do you hear? Let them be well used.
My lord, I will use each according to his desert.
God's bodykin, man. Much better. Use every man after his desert, for who shall escape whipping? Use them after they deserve. The less they deserve, the more merit in your bounty. Take them in.
Come, sirs.
Is that hear me, old friends? Can you play the murder of Gonzaga?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. We'll have it tomorrow night. You could, for a need, study a mime, a dumb show a few moments long to perform tomorrow, could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. I'll teach it to you later. Follow that lord. I pray you, mock him not. My friends, you are welcome to Elsinore. God be with you.
With you, my lord.
Now, I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, a dream of passion, could force his soul so from his own conceit that from her working, all his visage waned, tears in his eyes, a broken voice, and all for nothing. For Medea. What's Medea to him that he should scream and weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage in tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, bake mad the guilty, appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy, nettled rascal, peaked like a John of Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. Not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my pay to cross, plucks off my beard and blows it before my face. Schulz, I should take it, for it cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered, and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Hear this? I should have fatted all this region's crows with this slave's guts. Bloody villain! Remorseless, treacherous, kindless villain! Oh, vengeance! About my brain, oh. I have heard it said that guilty creatures sitting at a play have been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. I'll have these players play something like murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll quicken to the tent. If he but blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be a devil, yea, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. And perchance, out of my melancholy and sorrow, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you, by no drift of circumstance, get from him why he puts on this confusion, grading so harshly all his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
When we do bring him onto some confession of his true state, then with a crafty madness he keeps aloof.
Did he receive you well? Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
Of our demands, most free in his reply. Did you interest him to any pastimes? Madam, it so fell out that certain players sometimes come here to entertain, of those we told him, and there did seem in him a sort of joy to hear of it. As I think it, they are already here about the court, and have already arranged this night to play before him.
'Tis most true, and he did beseech me to entreat your majesties to see and hear the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge, and drive his purpose onto these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us two, for closely have we sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may here affront Ophelia. Her mother and myself will so bestow ourselves, that, seeing unseen, we may from this encounter frankly judge and gather by him, as he is behaved, if it be the affliction of his love or no, that thus he suffers for.
I shall obey you.
And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will set him to his wonted ways again, to both your honors.
Madam, I wish it may. Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Here, read the good book. That prayerful exercise may hide your upset. Is it not well proved, my king, that with such pious action and devotion we may hide our inner turmoil, though the devil himself be within us?
No, 'tis true. How sharp a lash that speech doth give my conscience. My deed lays hidden neath my painted words. No heavy burden.
Oh, let us withdraw, my lord.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep no more. And by a sleep we say to bring an end to the heartache and thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to that dream of death, what things may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes a calamity of so long life, for who would bear the whips and scorns of time when he can take himself to his own rest with his own bodkin? Who would these burdens bear? To grunt and sweat under so weary life, but for the dread of something after death. The undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns rather puzzles the will. Makes us bear those ills we know we have, than flatter those we know not of. Thus, does conscience make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied over with the pale cast of flaw. But soft you now, fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have many remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them?
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My lord, you know right well you did. And with words of breath so sweet composed has made the things more rich. Their perfume lost. Well, take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord.
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
I did love you once.
Indeed, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. I loved you not.
I was there more to see.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, yet can't accuse me of such things. It were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than thoughts to put them in, imagination to shape them in, or time to act them in. What should fellows such as I do? We are errant knaves all. Believe none of us. Get thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your mother?
At home, my lord.
Then let the doors be shut upon her, that she may play the fool nowhere but in her own house. Farewell!
Oh, sweet heavens, help him!
Or if thou wilt need marry, I'll give thee this plate for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste, as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calumny. Or if thou wilt need marry a fool. For wise men know what monsters you make of them.
Heavenly powers restore him!
I say there shall be no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery, go.
What noble mind is you overthrown? The expectancy and rose of the fair state? The glass of fashion and the mold of form. The observed of all the observers, quite down. And I, of ladies most dejected wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see the most noble and sovereign reason like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and figure of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Woe is me to see what I have seen. See what I see.
How now, Ophelia? How now? You need not tell us what the Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all.
And what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul, whereon his melancholy sits on brood, that I do fear the hatched and the disclosed will be of some danger. Which for to prevent, I have in quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speed to England. Haply the seas and countries different with variable objects shall expel this something settled matter in his soul, whereon his brains, still beating, puts him thus from fashion of himself. What think you on it?
It shall do well. But yet I do think the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. My king, do as you will, but if you hold fit, after the play, let his queen mother alone entreat him to show his grief. If she find him not, I'll conceal myself to hear their conference. And if she find him not, then off to England send him, or confine him here where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounce it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it as many of our players do, I would rather the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw your air thus with your hands much, but use all gently, for in the very whirlwind, torrent, and as I may say, tempest of your passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance, and make it all smoothness.
I warrant, your honor.
Be not too tame neither. Let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, holding this special observance. It's your step, not the modesty of nature. For anything so done is from the purpose of playing, whose end first and now was and is to hold a mirror to nature. Go get you ready.
We will, my lord.
Horatio.
Here, sweet lord, at your service.
There was a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I told thee of, my father's murder. I prithee, even with the comments of thy soul, observe my uncle. If his occulted guilt does not itself unkennel in one speech, it is a damned ghost we have seen. Observe my uncle while I mine eyes do rivet to his face, and after, we will our judgments join.
Well, my lord, if you steal anything while this play is playing, and escape detecting, I'll pay the theft.
Oh, they are coming to the play. I must be able to get you a place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent in faith. Of the chameleon's dish I eat the air, promise grand. You cannot feed cape and cell.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No, nor mine. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord, they stay upon your patience.
Come hither, dear Hamlet, sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
How do you mark that?
Lady, shall I lie upon your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap.
You are merry, my lord.
Who, I?
Aye, my lord.
What should a man do but be merry? Look how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within 2 seconds.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My operant powers their functions leave to do. But thou shalt live in this fair world behind, haply, honored, beloved, and haply won as kind for her husband.
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. When second husband let me be accursed, none wed the second, but who killed the first. The instances that second marriage move are base respects of thrift, but none of love. A second time I kill my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed.
Wormwood! Wormwood!
I do believe you think what now you speak, but what we do determine, oft we break. This world is not for aye, nor 'tis not strange that even our loves do with our fortunes change. Our wills and fate do so contrary run that our devices still are overthrown. Our thoughts are ours, their ends none of our own. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife, if once a widow ever I be wife.
'Tis deeply swart. Sweet, leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep rock thy brain. He sleeps, and never comes chance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
What do you call this play?
The Mousetrap. 'Tis a knavish piece of work, but what of that? Free soul such as your majesty and myself, it touches not.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in it?
They but jest. Poison in jest. No offense in the world. Oh, here comes the villain, cousin to the king.
You are as good as a chorus, my lord.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agree. Confederate season, else no creature seen. Thou mixture rank with midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and dire property, unwholesome life usurp immediately!
Excellent! Anon you shall see how the king gets the love of Gonzalo's wife. But the king rises. What? Startled with false fire? No, mother, stay. The end is near.
No, I'll see no more.
Oh, Horatio, I'll take the ghost word for 1,000 pounds. Didst perceive?
I did, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poisoning?
I did very well know.
Good, my lord. Vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The king, my lord,
I would of him, sir.
is in his retirement marvelous distemper.
With drink, sir?
No, sir, rather with choler.
I collared him, you say?
Good, my lord, vouchsafe you put some discourse into some frame and start not so wildly from our affair.
I am tame, sirs. Pronouns!
The queen, your mother in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
You are welcome.
Good, my lord. If it shall be your pleasure to give me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
Sirs, I cannot.
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer, but with disease. But to the matter, my
No, then
mother
thus
say,
she says your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Wonderful son that can so astonish a mother. But is there no sequel at the heels of her admiration? Impart.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey her were she 10 times our mother!
My lord, you once did love me.
Aye, and still do, by these prickers and stealers.
Good, my lord. But tell me, what is the cause of your distemper? You surely do bar the door upon your own liberty when you deny your griefs to your friends.
Sirs, I lack advancement.
How can that be when you are the crown prince of Denmark?
Ha! Come, some music! Come, the recorders! Will you play upon this one? pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
My lord, I know no touch of it.
Why, it's as easy as lying. You govern these vents with your fingers and thumb, give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. See, there are the stops.
My lord, I cannot with any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why? Look how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would seem to play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. There is much music in this little organ, excellent voice, yet cannot you make it speak? God's blood, do you think I am easier to be played upon than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can threaten me, you cannot play upon me! God bless you, sir!
My lord, the queen would speak with you and presently.
Do you see yonder cloud that's almost in the shape of a camel?
By the mast, 'tis like a camel indeed.
Methinks it's like a weasel.
It is back like a weasel.
Or very much like a whale.
Very like a whale.
I will come to my mother by and by. I will come by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is very easily said. Now I could drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Now, to my mother. Let me be cruel to her, not unnatural. But tongue and soul in this be hypocrites. If tongue's words destroy her, so be it.
I like him not, nor stands it safe with us to let his madness rage. Therefore, prepare you, for he to England shall along with you. The terms of our estate may not endure hazards that doth hourly grow out of his lunacies.
We will ourselves provide. Most urgent and religious fear is to keep the many, many bodies safe that feed upon your majesty.
Never alone did the king sigh, but with a general groan.
Arm you, I pray you, to the speedy voyage, for we will fetters put upon this fear which now grows too free-footed.
We shall, my lord.
My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Behind an arras, I'll convey myself to overhear the conference. 'Tis meet that some more audience than a mother, since nature make them partial, should overhear the speech. Farewell, my lord.
Thanks, dear my lady. Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it. A brother's murder. Pray? Can I not? Though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Then I'll look up. My fault is past. But, oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder? That cannot be, for I am still possessed of the effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and still retain the offense? In the corrupted currents of this world, offence's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft 'tis seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled even to the teeth and forehead of our faults to give confession. O bosom, black as death, thou stubborn knees and heart with strings of steel, be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well. Help me, angels.
How might I do it, Pat? Now he is praying. so now I'll do it. And so am I revenged. A villain kills my father, and I, his sole son, do send this same villain direct to heaven. And am I then revenged? To take him in the purging of his soul when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Absurd. When he is drunk asleep, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, or at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation, then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven and his soul be as damned and as black as the hell whereto he goes. Now, my mother awaits, though your prayers preserve you. They come too late.
My words fly up. My thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
Look, you lay home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that you yourself have screamed and stood between much heat and him. I'll silence me even here.
I warn, fear me not. Withdraw, I hear him coming.
Mother! Mother! What's the matter now?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, thou hast my father much offended.
Come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Well, don't you question with a wicked tongue.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
Mother, what's the matter now?
Have you forgot me?
No. By the rood, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and were it not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set those to you that can speak.
Oh, nay. Come and sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not till I set you up a glass wherein you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help! Help! What ho? Help!
How now? A rat? Dead for a ducat. Dead!
No! What hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this!
A bloody deed. Almost as bad, good mother, has kill a king and marry his brother!
Is kill a king?
High lady, it was my word! Oh, thou wretched, rash, intruding fool, farewell, take thy fortune, thou find'st to be too busy is some danger. Leave wringing of your hands. Peace. Sit you down. For so I shall wring your heart if it be made of penetrable stuff.
What have I done that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
An act that blurs the grace and modesty of blush.
I mean, what act?
Look, you here, upon this picture, and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow. Hyperion's curls the front of Jove himself, and I, like Mars, to threaten and command. A foreman moving indeed so wherein every god did seem to set his seal upon him to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. Here is your husband, blasting like a mildewed ear his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you on this fair mountain leave to feed and batten on this moor? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age, the hate that in the blood it's tame, it's humble, and it waits upon the judgment. What judgment would jump from this to this? What devil hath robbed you of your judgment? Oh, shame! Where is thy blush?
Speak to me no more, thou turnest mine eyes into my very soul.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honey, and baking love o'er the nasty side.
Speak to me no more, Hamlet, thou turnest mine eyes into my very soul. No more, sweet Hamlet.
A murderer and a villain, a cutpurse of the empire that from the precious shelf stole the diadem and put in his pocket.
No more!
A king of shreds and patches, hover over me and save me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure?
He's mad.
Come you not to tardy your son, that lapse in time and passion foregoes the important acting of your dread command?
Do not forget, this visitation is to whet thy almost blunted purpose. Hamlet, look upon amazement thy mother stands. Speak to her.
Alas, how is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is it with you that stare at vacancy? O gentle son, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper sprinkled full patience, whereon do you look?
On him! On him! Look how pale he glares.
Of whom do you speak?
Do you see nothing there?
Nothing at all, yet all that is I see.
Do you nothing hear?
No, nothing but ourselves.
Look you now. How he steals away my father in his habit as he lived. Look where he goes now, even out at the portal.
This is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation, ecstasy is very cunning it.
Ecstasy? My pulse has your stuff temperately keep time and makes this healthful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Motherly, not that flattery notion unto your soul that not your trespass with my madness speaks. It will but skin and film the ulcerous place while reigns corruption mining all within, infects unseen. Mother, confess yourself to heaven. Repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them rancor.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Then throw away the worser part of it and live the pure with the other half. Mother, good night. But go not to my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. Refrain tonight, and that shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence, the next more easy. For use almost can change the stamp of nature and either tame the devil or throw him out with wondrous potency. Once again, good night. For this same Lord, I do repent, and I will answer well the death I gave him. Once again, good night. I must be cruel only to be kind. Thus bad begins, and worse remains behind. My lady, one word more.
What shall I do?
Do not let the king know that I am essentially not in madness but mad in craft, what he did not know.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath and breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me.
I must to England, you know that?
Alas, 'tis so concluded on, I had forgot.
There's letters sealed. My two schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will adders fanged, they bear the mandate. They must sweep my way and marshal me to knavery. Let it work. For 'tis the sport to have to hoist the engineer with his own petard, and it shall go hard. I will delve 1 yard below their minds and blow them at the moon. Once again, good night, mother. Indeed, this counselor, who in life was a foolish, prating knave, is indeed now very still and grave. Come, sir, towards an end with you. Mother, good night.
there's matter in these sighs, these profound heaves. You must translate. 'Tis fit we understand them.
I know, Lord, what have I seen tonight?
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad as the wind and sea, when both contend which is the mightier, in his lawless fit, hearing something behind the arrestor, whips out his rapier, cries, a rat, and in this brainish apprehension kills the unseen good old woman.
Oh, heavy deed! It had been so for us had we been there. This liberty is full of threats to all, to you yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how shall this bloody deed be answered? It shall be laid to us, whose providence should have restrained the mad young man. But we so loved young Hamlet that we protected him, and like the owner of some foul disease, to keep it from divulging, let it feed, even on the pith of life. Where is he gone?
To draw apart the body he had killed.
Come, Gertrude. The sun no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will send him hence. This vile deed we must, with all our majesty and skill, both countenance and excuse. Ho! Guildenstern! Friends both, Hamlet, in madness, hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged her. Go, seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. I pray you, make haste.
We will haste us.
Come, Gertrude. We'll call all our wisest friends and let them know both what we mean to do and what's untimely done. Oh, come away. My soul is full of discord and dismay.
Safely stowed.
My lord!
Hamlet! Oh, what's off? What noise? Who calls? Lord Hamlet.
My lord, what have you done with the dead body?
Compounded it with dust whereto 'tis kin,
Tell us where 'tis, and that we may take it and bear it to the chapel.
and to be demanded by a sponge. What replication should be made to the son of a king?
Take you me for a sponge, my lord.
Aye, sir. One that soaks up the king's countenance, his authorities, his rewards. But officers do the king best service in the end. When he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you and sponge. You shall be dry.
I understand you not, my lord.
I'm glad of it. A knavish speech sleeps well in a foolish ear.
My lord, you must tell us where the body is, and go with us now, king.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing
A thing, my lord?
of nothing. Bring me to him.
I have sent to seek him and to find the body. How dangerous is it that this man is loose? How now? What hath befallen?
My lord, where the dead body is bestowed, I cannot get from him.
But where is he?
Outside, guarded without, to know your pleasure.
Bring him before us.
Ho, Guildenstern, bring in my lord!
Now, Hamlet. Where's Polonius?
At supper.
At supper. Where?
Well, not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are even at him now.
Alas.
That's the end.
Alas, alas!
A man may eat of the fish that have fed of the worm, and eat of the worm that have fed of a king.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing but to say how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. Sent thither to see, or if your messengers find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. Or indeed, if you not find him within a month, you shall nose him as you pass by the stairs onto the lobby.
Go, seek him there.
He will stay till you come.
Hamlet, this deed, for thine own special safety, this deed that thou hast done must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore, prepare yourself. The bark is ready, and the wind at help, the associates dead, and everything is bent for England.
For England?
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So is it, if thou knewest our purposes.
Oh, I see an angel that sees them. But come, for England. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
Man and wife are husband and mother. Husband and father are but one flesh. Therefore, mother. But come, for England!
Follow him at foot. Tempt him with speed aboard. Delay it not. I'll have him hence tonight. Away, for everything that is set and bent for this affair, that else lies with this affair.
We shall, my lord.
And England, if my love thou holdest at aught, and my great power may give thee sense, effect the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England, for like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me, till I know 'tis done, however my haps, my joys were never begun.
Would please you go, my lord.
Go a little before. I'll be with you straight. How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man, if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more. How stand I then that have a father slain, a mother stained, and let all sleep? From this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, or nothing worth.
My sick soul, as sin's true nature is, each toy seems prologue to some great amiss. So full of artless jealousy is guilt, it spills itself in fearing to be spilled.
Where's the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
Why, how now, Ophelia?
How should I my true love know? From another one. By his cockled hat and staff, and his sandal shoe.
Laugh, sweet lady, what
Say your name, pray you, Mark! She is dead and gone, lady. She is dead and gone. At her head a grass green turf, and at her heels a stove.
Nay, but if you...
Pray you, Mark! Wipe her shroud as a mountain snow. Larded all with sweet flowers.
Look here, my lord.
That be wet to the grave did not go. With true love shower.
How do you, pretty lady?
Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day. On the morning meantime. And I am made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes and took the chamber door. Let in the maid, let out on me, never departed more.
Pretty Ophelia, How long hath she been thus?
I cannot choose but to weep and to think that they would lay him on a cold ground. My brother took care of this. Thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach! Good night. Lady, good night. Sweet lady, good night. Good night.
Oh, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her mother's death. Oh, Gertrude, Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. First, her mother slain. Next, your son gone, and he most violent author of his own just remove. The people whispering of good Polonius' death, and poor Ophelia, divided from herself and her fair judgment, without the which we are pictures or mere beasts. And last, her brother has come home from France, and wants not buzzers to infect his ears with pestilent speeches of his mother's death.
Alack, what noise is this?
Save yourself, my lord! The ocean, overpeering of his list, eats not the flats with more impetuous haste than young Laertes in right his head, or bears your officers. The rabble call him lord. They cry, choose we, Laertes shall be king. Caps, hands, and tongues applaud it to the clouds. Laertes shall be king! Laertes king!
The doors are broke.
Oh, thou vile king! Give me my mother!
Call me good Laertes.
What is the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion seems so giant-like? Let him go, Gertrude. Laertes, tell me, why thou art thus incensed? Let him go, Gertrude. Speak, man.
Where is my mother?
Dead.
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came she dead? I'll not be juggled with. I dare damnation. I will be revenged most thoroughly for my mother's death.
Who shall stay you?
Not all the world.
Laertes, if you desire to know the true circumstance of your noble mother's death, is it writ in your revenge that you'll do battle with both friend and foe?
None but our enemies.
Will you know them, then?
Two are good friends, thus wide I'll out my arms.
Why now? You speak like a good child and a true gentleman, that I am guiltless in your mother's death, and am most sensibly in grief for it. It shall, as level to your judgment, pierce as day does to your eye.
What noise is this? Oh, heat, dry up my brains. Tears 7 times salt burn out the sense and virtue of my eyes. By heaven, thy madness shall be paid in weight till our scale turn the beam. Oh, Rose of May, dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. Oh, heavens, is possible a young maid's wit should be as mortal as an old woman's life?
They bore her bare face on the bier. Hey, nanny, nanny, hey, nanny. And in her grave fell many a tear. Fare thee well, my dove.
Hast thou thy wits and did persuade revenge it could not move with us?
There's rosemary for you. That is for remembrance. Pray you, love. Remember? There's pansies. That is for thoughts.
Documented madness, thoughts, and remembrance fitted.
There's fennel for you. And columbine. There's room for you. Some for me. There's a daisy. I would give you violets,
she not come again? And will she not come again? No, no, she is dead. Go to thy deathbed. She will never come again. Her skin was as white as snow. All flaxen was her fall. She's gone. She is gone. Have we cast away moan? God have mercy on her soul. And to all Christian souls, I pray. God be with ye.
Do you see this, O God?
Laertes, I must commune with your grief, or you deny me right. Go but apart. Make choice of whom your wisest friends you will, and they shall hear and judge twixt you and me. If by correct or by collateral hand they find us touched, we will our kingdom give, our crown, our life, and all that we call dear, and all that we call ours to you in satisfaction. But if not, be content to lend your patience to us, and we will jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. Her means of death, her obscure funeral, no trophies, sword, nor hatchment o'er her bones, no noble rite, nor formal ostentation, cry to be heard as 'twere from heaven to earth, but I must call it in question.
So you shall, and where the offense is, let the great axe fall. I pray you, go with me.
What are they that would speak with me?
See foreign men, sir. They say they have letters for you.
Bring them in. I do not know from what part of the world I should be greeted. Not from Lord Hamlet.
God bless you, sir.
Let him bless thee too.
You will, sir, and it please him. I have a letter for you, sir, from the ambassador that was bound for England. If your name be Horatio, as I am led to know it is.
Horatio, when thou shalt have overlooked this, give these fellows some means to the king. They have letters for him. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor, and in the grapple I boarded them. On the instant they got clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me with mercy, but they knew what they did. I am to do a good turn for them. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak in thine ear, will make thee dumb. These good fellows will bring thee where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I shall have much to tell thee. Farewell, Hamlet. Come, I will show you to the king, the speedier that you may direct me to him from whom you brought them.
Now, you must put me in your heart for friend, for you have heard, and with a knowing ear, that he who hath your noble mother slain pursued my life.
It well appears. But tell me why you did not proceed against these acts, so crimeful and so capital in nature.
'Tis for the love the Danish people give him, convert his faults to graces, so that my arrows, too slightly timbered for so loud a wind, would have reverted to my bow again, and not where I had aimed them.
And thus have I a noble mother lost, a sister driven into desperate terms, but my revenge will come.
Do you hear something? Is someone coming?
More messengers.
Messenger!
My sister.
Messenger!
I'm lost in it, my lord. But let Hamlet come.
Well,
It warms the very sickness of my heart to tell him to his teeth, thus didst thou.
It's all right, Laertes. I have heard a message from the messenger earlier today, and he... Is that him? Messenger? Aha! How now? What news? What took you so long?
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet. This for your majesty, this for the queen.
From Hamlet? Who has brought them?
Sailors, my lord, they saw them not.
Laertes, you shall hear this. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet. What should this mean?
Know you the hand?
'Tis Hamlet's character. Can you advise me?
I must in it, but tomorrow let him come, and I shall live to tell him, thus didst thou.
Will you be ruled by me, Laertes?
Aye, my lord, if you will not o'errule me to a peace.
To thine own peace. I will work him to an exploit, now ripe in my device, under the which he shall not choose but fall, and his death, even his mother would call it accident.
My lord, I will be ruled. The latter which, if you would devise it so that I might be the organ.
It falls right. You have been talked of since your return much, for equality, and in Hamlet's hearing, for equality wherein they say you shine, your martial art, and for your rapier more especially, it is cried out, 'twould be a sight indeed, if one could best you. Sir, this report of you did Hamlet so envenom with his envy that he could nothing do but wish and beg your sudden coming on to play with you. Now out of this...
What out of this, my lord?
Laertes, was your mother dear to you? Or are you like the painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
Why ask you this?
What would you undertake to prove yourself your mother's son in deed more than in words?
To cut his throat at the church.
Revenge should have no bounds. But, good Laertes, will you do this? Keep close within your chamber. Hamlet, returned, will know you are come home. Will put on those, shall praise your excellence, and wager on your heads. He, being remiss, most generous and free of all contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that with ease, or with a little shuffling, you may choose an untipped sword, and in a pass of practice, requite him for your mother.
My lord, I'll do it, and for this purpose, I'll anoint my sword. I bought an ointment of a mountebank, so mortal that but dip a blade in it, if it draws blood, no man be saved from death if he is scratched withal. I'll tip my point with a contagion, that if I do but gall him, it may be death.
It falls right. But, if this may fall, 'twere better not assayed if our performance should be seen draw bad performance. Therefore, this project must have a back or second that might hold if it did blast in proof. Soft. Let me see. When in your motions you are hot and dry, make more violent the bouts to that end, so that he calls for drink. I'll have prepared a wine goblet, whereon but sipping he, if he by chance escape your venom stuck, our purpose may hold there. But stay, what noise? How now, sweet lady?
When woe doth tread upon another's heels, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Oh. Where?
There is a willow, grows aslant a brook, that shows his poor leaves in the glassy stream. There, with fantastic garland, did she come of crow flowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples. There on pendant boughs, her clambering weeds, clambering to hang, an envious liver broke, and down her wreathed trophies and herself fell in wilting.
Her clothes spread wide
and mermaid-like a while they bore her up. Each time she chanted snatches of old tunes as one incapable of knowing her distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be, till that her garments heavy with their drink pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy dip.
Alas, then she is drowned.
Drown.
Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia, thus I forbid my tears. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly drowns it.
Come, Gertrude, let's follow. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this will give it start again.
Is she to be buried in Christian burial when she willfully takes her own life?
I tell thee she is, therefore make her grave straight. The coroner hath stayed on her and finds it a Christian burial.
How can that be? Unless she drowned herself in her own defense?
Why, 'tis found so.
It must be self-defense. It cannot be else. Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. If the man go to this water and drown himself, it is willy-nilly he goes, mark you that. But if the water go to him and drown him, he drowns not himself. Argal, he that is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life.
Will you have the truth on it? This had not been a gentlewoman. She should have been buried outside of Christian burial.
Why, there thou sayest, and the more pity it is that great folks should have the countenance to drown or hang themselves, more than the likes of us. Come, my spade. Behold up Adam's profession.
Now, was he a gentleman?
He was the first that ever bore arms.
But he had none.
What, art thou a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says that Adam digged. Did he dig without arms? I'll put another question to thee. If thou answerest me not to the purpose, confess thyself.
Go to!
Who digs better than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
I cannot tell.
When thou art asked this question next, answer a grave maker. The houses he makes last till doomsday. Go. Fetch me a stoup of liquor. We're all gonna die someday, Lord. We're all gonna die someday.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made it into a property of easiness.
'Tis even so, the hand that little employment hath within a few cents. That skull had a tongue in it and could sing once. How the knave chows it to the ground. That might be the pate of a politician, might it not?
Aye, my lord.
Or of a courtier who could say, "Good morning, sweet lord. How dost thou, sweet lord?"
Aye, my lord.
That's another. May not that be the skull of a lawyer? I will speak to this fellow. Whose grave's this, sirrah?
Why, mine, sir.
What man is thou digging for?
For no man, sir.
What woman then?
For none neither.
Who's to be buried in it?
For one that was a woman, sir. But rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Why, I came to it the very day young Hamlet was born. He that is mad and sent him to England.
Why, Mary, why was he sent to England?
Why, because he was mad. 'Twill recover his wits there, or if he do not, 'tis no great matter.
Why?
Will not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
By losing his wits.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
faith. If he be not rotten before he die, as we have many pocky corpses nowadays that will scarce hold a laying in, will last you some 8 or 9 year. A tanner will last you 9 year.
Why he more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade that it'll keep water out a great while, and your water's the sore decayer of your dead bodies. Oh, here's a skull now. This skull hath lying you in the earth some 23 years.
Whose was it?
Whose do you think it was?
I know not.
This same skull, sir, was Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
That?
In that?
Let's see. Alas. Poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, post, excellent fancy. He had borne me on his back 1,000 times. Where be your jibes now? Your songs? Your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table a-roar? Not a one now to mock your own grave. But soft! Soft aside! Here comes the queen.
Who's this they fall? What ceremony else?
Who's this they fall? That is Laertes, a noble youth Mark.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranty. Her death was doubtful, and but that great commandor sways the order, she should in ground unsanctified have lodged till the last trumpet.
Must no more be done?
No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem or such rest to her as to peace-parted souls.
Layering the earth, and from her pure and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
What? Fair Ophelia?
Sweets to the sweet. Farewell. I hope thou wouldst have been my Hamlet's bride. I hope thy bride bed to have decked a sweet mead, may not have strewed thy grave.
Treble woe. Fall 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth a while till I've caught thee once more in my arms. Now, pile your dust upon the quickened head.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? Who conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder-wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet, the Dane!
Back down!
Laertes, no!
Back! What are you doing?
Leave it be.
Stop!
Gentlemen.
Let's have a thunder!
Oh, my son, my king!
I will fight with him upon this theme until my eyelids no longer wag.
For love of God, forbear him!
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not with all their quantity of love make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, he is mad, Laertes.
Show me what thou wilt do for her. Would weep, would fight, would fast, would tear thyself. I'll do it. Drink vinegar, eat a crocodile. Does thou come here to whine, to outface me with leaping in her grave? What is the reason you use me thus? I ever did love you. But it is no use. Hercules himself will do what he may. The cat will meow, and the dog will have his day!
I pray thee, good Horatio, wait upon him.
Strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. An hour of quiet shortly shall we see. Till then, patience in our proceeding be.
There's a divinity that shapes our ends, Horatio.
That is most certain.
Sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Up from my cabin, my sea gown scarfed about me. In the dark, groped I to find out them. Had my desire, fingered their packet, and in fine withdrew to mine own room again. I there unsealed their grand commission where I found royal knavery, an exact command,
lauded with many several sorts of reasons that I, on the supervise, no leisure bated,
no, not to stay for the grinding of the axe, should have my head struck off.
Is it possible?
Here's the commission. Read it. Wilt thou know how I did proceed?
I beseech you.
Sat me down, wrote out a new commission. But wilt thou know the effect of what I wrote?
Aye, good my lord.
An earnest conjuration from the king,
that on the view and knowing of these contents,
he, the bearer, should put to sudden death, no shriving time allowed.
How is it sealed?
Why, even in that heaven was ordinate. I had my father's signet in my purse, which was the model of that very Danish seal. Folded the writ in the form of the other, subscribed it,
gave it the impression,
placed it safely, the changeling never know.
So, Guildenstern and Rosencrantz go to it.
Oh, man, they did make love to this employment. They are not near my conscience. Their defeat by their own insinuation does grow. But, good Horatio, I am very sorry that to Laertes I forgot myself. I'll court his favors, but the bravery of his grief did put me into a towering passion.
Peace, who comes here?
Your lordship is right welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you, sir.
Yes.
Does thou know this water flower?
No, my God.
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from His Majesty.
I will receive it, sir, with all due diligence of spirit. I pray you remember your bonnet. 'Tis for your head.
I thank your lordship, but it is very hot. Yes.
No, believe me, it is very cold. The wind is northerly.
It is indifferent cold, my lord, indeed.
Yet methinks it is very hot and sultry for my complexion.
Oh, exceedingly, my lord. It is very sultry. But, my lord, His Majesty bade me signify to you that he has laid a great wager on your head. Sir, this is the matter.
I pray you remember.
Nay, my good lord, for mine ease and good faith. Sir, here is newly come to court Laertes. Believe me, an absolute gentleman. Indeed, to speak feelingly of him, he is the card or calendar of gentry. For you shall find in him the continent of what part a gentleman would see.
Sure, his definement suffers no perdition in you, though to divide him inventorially would doozy the arithmetic of memory. In the verity of extolment, I take him to be a soul of great article.
Oh, your lordship speaks most infallibly of him.
The concernancy, sir. What nominates the impartment of this gentleman?
Of Laertes?
His purse is empty already. All his golden words are spent.
You are not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is reputed, sir. For his weapon, they say he is unfellowed.
What's his weapon?
Rapier and dagger. The king, sir, hath wagered with him 6 Barbary horses, against which Laertes has impounded, as I take it, 6 French rapiers and poniards. The king, sir, hath laid that in a dozen passes between yourself and him, that he shall not exceed you 3 hits. He hath laid on 12 for 9, and it would come to immediate trial if your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
I will walk here in the hall today. It is the breathing time of day with me. If it please His Majesty, let the foils be brought. His gentleman willing, the king true to his purpose, I will win for him if I can. If not, I gain nothing but the few odd hits in my shame.
Shall I redeliver you even so?
To this effect, after whatever nature your flourishes will.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
Oh, I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been in continual practice. I will win at the odds.
Nay, good my lord. If your mind dislike anything, obey it. I will forestall the repair hither and say you are not fit.
Not? Oh wait, we defy augury. There is a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be not now, yet it will come. If it will not come, yet it will be. If it be not now, yet 'tis to come. The readiness is all. Since no man knows aught of what he leaves, what is it to leave betimes? Let be.
My lord, His Majesty sends to know if your pleasure hold to play with Laertes, or that you will hold longer time.
I am constant to my purposes. They follow the king's pleasures. If his fitness speaks, mine is ready, provided I be so able as I am now.
The king and queen and all are coming down.
In happy time!
The queen desires you to use some gentle entertainment to Laertes before you fall to play.
She well instructs me.
Come, Hamlet, come, and take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I have done you wrong, but pardon it as you are a gentleman. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard how I am punished with sore distraction. Was it, Hamlet, wronged Laertes? Never, Hamlet. Sir, let my disclaiming in this audience show, and free me as in your most generous thoughts that I have shot my arrow o'er the house and hurt my brother.
I'm satisfied in nature. I do receive your honored love like love and will not wrong it.
I embrace it freely, and this brother's wager will frankly play. Come, give us the foils.
Come, one for me.
Give them the foils, young Osric. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager.
Very well, my lord. Your grace has placed the odds on the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both. But since he is bettered, we have therefore odds.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
This strikes me very well. These foils all have a length?
Aye, my lord.
Give me the cups. And let the kettle to the trumpet speak, the trumpet to the cannoneer without, the cannons to the heavens to earth. Now the king drinks to Hamlet. Come, begin. And you, the judges, bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lord.
What?
No!
Judgment!
A hit. A very palpable hit.
Hamlet, here's to thy health.
Give him the cup. I'll play this bout first, man. Set it by a while. Come. Another hit. What say you?
A touch, I do confess.
Your son shall win.
He's fat and scant of breath. Here, Hamlet, take my napkin, rub thy brows. The queen carouses to your honor, Hamlet.
Gertrude, do not drink.
I will, my lord. I pray you pardon me.
It is the poisoned cup. It is too late.
I dare not drink yet, madam. By and by.
My lord, I'll hit him now. Yet 'tis almost against my conscience.
Come on, Laertes, come for the third. You but dally.
Say you so?
Come on! Nothing either way.
How about you now?
They come again!
The Queen, look there, how? They bleed on both sides. How is it, my lord?
Laertes, as a woodcock to my own spring, Osric, and justly killed with mine own treachery.
How does the Queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No, no, it's a dream. The dream, my dream, the dream. Please. Oh.
Oh, villainy! Treachery! Let the doors be locked! Seek it out!
It is here, Hamlet. Hamlet! Thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not 1/2 hour of life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice has turned itself on me. Oh, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king's to blame.
The pointed venom to the venom to my blood.
Oh, yet defend me, friends. I am quite
Here,
hurt.
thou wretched, rash, intruding fool. Drink off this poison. Follow my mother.
He is justly served. Is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my mother's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. Good Horatio. I am dead. Wretched Queen, adieu. You that but look pale and tremble at this chance that are but audience or mutes to this act. Had I but time, I could tell you. And that, Horatio, thou livest, report me in my cause aright to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more an antic Roman than a Dane. There's yet some liquor left.
As thou art a man, give me the cup. Oh, how about it? Oh. Horatio, what a wounded name I leave behind me. If thou didst ever in thy heart hold me dear, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. I die, Horatio. The potent poison quite o'ergrows my spirit. So rest is silent.
No cracks so noble heart. Good night, sweet prince. And flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
Horatio! Horatio!
Why does the trunk come hither?
Ambassadors from England and Norway, sir.
Where is this sight?
What is it you will see? If aught of woe or wonder cease your search.
This quarry cries on havoc. O proud death, what feast is toward in thine eternal cell that thou so many princes at a shot hast so bloodily struck? The sight is dismal, and our affairs from England come too late. The ears are senseless that should give us bearing to tell him his commandment is fulfilled, that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Where should we have our thanks?
Not from these mouths. But since, Ambassador, you from Norway are here arrived, give order that these bodies high to the stage be placed to the view. And let me speak to the yet unknowing world how these things came about. All this can I truly deliver.
Well, let us haste to hear it. We'll call the noblest to the audience. For me it is with sorrow I embrace my fortune, I do have some rights of memory to this kingdom, which now to accept my fortune doth invite me.
Of that I shall have also cause to speak. Now all men's minds are wild, lest more mischance on plots and errors happen. Let 4 captains bear Hamlet like a soldier to the stage. For he was likely, had he been put on, to have proved most royally. And for his passage, the rights of war and soldiers' music speak loudly for him.
Go. Take up the bodies. Bid the soldiers shoot.
One more monologue. Why not? Screw up, Bryna. Doubt that the stars are fire. Doubt that the sun doth move. Doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt that I love you.
No,